Hey guys, it's Tia and I'm back for another Olympic themed video, and this time we're talking about the women's free skate. I also watched this competition live and I just want to say how incredible this pool of skaters is and how amazing it has been to follow these people over the last 4 years. Some new faces, some I have followed since Beijing. It has just been such a wild ride, and I think with this event, for once, it didn't end in disaster. Like, we had a women's event that wasn't extremely traumatic. Like, yes, there were moments where my heart shattered and we saw dreams crumble away, but there were redemption arcs and it was just different. It didn't feel like the Olympics, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, we're going to talk about some of my personal highlights and mainly those top performing skaters, but of course, everyone who competed at the Olympics should be so proud of themselves. Those who maybe it was their first time, their second time, or if they're from a country that normally doesn't go to the Olympics or doesn't compete at this level, I just hope those skaters are so proud of themselves. And if there's anyone like that or anyone from your country who's like that, drop their name in the comment because I really want to learn about some new people and some new stories. But anyway, for today, let's kick it off with Jia Shin. To keep it simple, I think Jia is a very elegant skater and somebody who has a lot of potential moving forwards. I really like her transitions and her skating between her jumps and between her elements, and I also love her positions in her spins. There was one in particular where she was kind of leaning back. It was very ballet-like, and I think that just suits her presentation really well. And technically, she's also a really strong competitor. Like, she was so close to having a clean skate other than one step out. So for this level, this kind of pressure, I think Jia went out there with her strengths and did what she needed to do. Another skater to briefly mention is Ekaterina, and I really loved her short program, so I was excited to see her long program because I actually hadn't seen it before, my bad. But this was another beautiful routine. It was so emotive and she was just 100% on the performance, and her smile, she was happy. She was over the moon when she finished. She had her moment, and stuff like that just means so much to me. And I really wish she didn't get as much hate as people give her, because she just seems like such a sweet, genuine person who, like anyone else, is just out there to do her best, to do her job. And I think a bit like Jia, she did that in this moment and can leave this Olympics as a positive, satisfied kind of feeling. Next, I want to talk about Amber Glenn because she did skate quite early in the lineup, which was unexpected as a big picture, but because of her short program putting her in 13th, she needed to recover strong, okay? We needed a redemption arc, and I'm telling you, that is exactly what Mother Glenn gave us, an exceptional display of resilience and mental strength. I can't even begin to describe how proud I am of her and how she was able to just go out with such calmness and smile and just go one by one through that whole routine and nail it. It's so incredible. She landed her triple axel, she landed her triple loop that she missed from the short program. Everything else was so comfortable, except for, I think it was a loop, or there was one jump where she touched her hand down, but she smiled, she was laughing. I think she was just enjoying it, and I'm so glad that she was able to put herself in that mindset where it's not the end of the world. This is the Olympics, you're here, you may never get to be here again, but just enjoy it and take it home as a good memory and a good experience. So obviously I can't say what is in her mind. I'm not Amber Glenn. I wish I was, but either way, I think it is so clear that through her determination, she did a performance that she is happy with. Now, I will talk more about the scoring and the placings probably at the end of this video, but quickly to jump in, Amber Glenn ended up in 5th place, which, coming from 13th, is crazy. Like, for the entire second to last warm-up group, she maintained her place in 1st. It wasn't until Monshiba skated where she got bumped down. So while it is absolutely heartbreaking that she had that mistake in the short program and she missed out on that podium spot that would have been rightfully hers, she has still achieved monumental things, and even just beyond skating and beyond placements, I mentioned this in my last video, the things that she has done for this sport and the things that she stands for is worth so much more than any medal, any trophy, any title could ever be worth. If you follow my videos, if you watch, if you listen to me, it's obvious I'm down bad for this woman. Like, freaking look at her. Ooh, oh my god, guys. You get my point. So we are going to move on to the next skater. Now, Sophia is really growing on me as a skater, as a person. I think she is just so pretty and I love how she presents herself, if that makes any sense. Particularly in her skating, I love how she interprets the music and its nuances so precisely. However, I did feel in this routine today that the step sequence was a bit too slow. It just felt like it needed more energy. Because don't get me wrong, she has so much passion and it just floods out onto the ice while she skates. So I think just a little bit more speed would have added to the difficulty and the potential of this routine. But nonetheless, I like how she embraces the role and I think she did an incredible job at this competition. Now, the two Ninas I'm going to kind of group together because they're both skaters that I don't really know. But Nina Pinzeroni, she looked a bit shaky on her landings, and honestly, I found this routine kind of boring, so I don't have much to say. And I feel like with her in particular, I need to know more of her, and I need to see her more to really connect her story with her skating, if that makes any sense. This is similar for Nina Petrokina. I feel like I just need to know more of her. I did, however, think her music was pretty cool and there were a lot of interesting transitions and movements between her elements. So I did like that about her routine, but as a whole, these two girls, I just need to sit with them a little bit longer. Next, we had Isabel Levito, our little American princess, and I was just so excited to see this routine because I love it. It's so pretty, she's so elegant, and honestly, Isabel just has the most aesthetic leg extension of any skater, I swear. So the routine was gorgeous, but I think I cursed her because I literally started thinking, guys, I haven't seen anyone fall in ages. This is going really well. And then she fell. So, sorry guys, I will just stop having opinions from now on. Unfortunately, Isabel ended up in 13th place, but honestly, with her technical skills and how they kind of blend in with the rest of the pack, I think this is still a relatively good outing, and overall, I've seen her social media, she was having so much fun, she loved the Olympic Village, she doesn't want to leave, her family's here. I think this Olympics would have been a great experience for Isabel regardless, and being so young, if she keeps herself healthy, there's no reason why we won't see her again in another 4 years. Now, another skater that I just have a little bit to say about is Anastasia, which, sorry if I pronounced her name wrong, but she is someone who is really memorable to me because of her costume, and I'm sure you know the costume I'm talking about. If you don't, it's on screen anyway, but this is so well done, so pretty, and guys, is this Wallawa? No kidding. I know it's not. That looks like a man's forehead. How disappointing. But anyway, I think this was a really pretty routine. It was delicate and simple, but in all the right ways. So I'm glad for her. I think this was an absolutely incredible outing, and I'm so glad that the crowd got behind her as much as she did, because being from Georgia, a country that typically isn't as high up in the ranks of figure skating, I think it's so great that they get to have her as such a strong competitor and great representation for her country and the people within it, just to show what is possible. Now, continuing in skating order, we had Adelia Petrosian, who ended up in 6th place overall. Now, she was an interesting one because she's the only girl in this competition who was going to be attempting quads, and she did go for it. I believe it wasn't on her planned content sheet, so a lot of people thought she wasn't going to try it. You know, I also see this as what has she got to lose? Like, she was in 5th, I believe, so probably wasn't going to make the podium by playing it safe, whereas taking this risk, doing the quad, if she had have landed it, she could have bumped herself up, but unfortunately she didn't make the jump, and the rest of the routine, it was okay, but there were minor faults, and I think she knew that, and she was disappointed when she finished her skate. Of course, I mentioned in my last video how, as the single skater selected to represent Russia, a country that has dominated this field for so long, I'm sure she felt like she let people down, and I just really hope she is content with herself and can go home having positive memories about this international experience and newfound reputation that she has gained. Now we need to talk about Monet Shiba, who was the first girl of this warm-up group to finally overtake Amber Glenn. And I think watching the competition, I started getting so worked up at this point because any single one of these girls could have been our Olympic gold medalists. They were all so close in points, all such incredible skaters. It was just such a spur of the moment. Anything could happen. So for Monet to go out there with that strength in her mindset and do such an incredible performance, I don't know how they do it. These girls are so young and they are just so strong. I also absolutely adore this dress, and this color of blue is just so pretty and flattering and it matches the routine so well. So I was just having a good time. I was having a great time. Her jumps were incredible. Her spins were incredible. Her knee bend. Like, I've talked so much about Monet's knee bend and the Japanese technique in general. Just give me some of that. Drop it over here, please. Personally, I think 4th place is the worst position because you were so close to the podium, but just miss out. You just miss out on a medal, getting to be out there, getting to stand there with the others. I think that is just truly heartbreaking. And some people think 2nd place is the worst because it's the first to lose, all that. But at the same time, like, at least you get a medal. Like, at least you are a silver medalist at the Olympics. Like, it's a difficult one, and I get why any one person could be emotional about either position, but nonetheless, I hope Monet is so proud of herself and that Japan is proud of her, because to have 3 of those girls up there, we almost had a Japanese sweep. So I am so happy for these girls. I know Monet has such a bright future ahead of her, and even though she didn't get it this time, there is absolutely the next Olympics, and I'm so excited to follow her over the next 4 years. Now, I want to go in order, but I'm also going to be annoying, and I'm going to continue this with the Japanese girls, because I want to talk about Kari Sakamoto, because Kari Sakamoto, the woman that you have become, the skater that you are, I can't even begin to describe my admiration. It has been such a journey, so many highs, so many lows. This is her 3rd Olympic Games. This is now her 4th Olympic medal. So that makes her the most decorated Japanese woman ever. And seriously, there is no one on this planet who could be more deserving of that title than the Kari Sakamoto. She is just a ray of sunshine, a ray of light, just a character that is so irreplaceable. And watching this routine, I was just feeling these emotions with her. I was so emotional. I wanted to cry just because I love her so much and I'm gonna miss her. And because I know how important this is. This is the final skate, her final opportunity to prove herself. And like her, I wanted her to have that moment so badly. But now it is done. Kari, you can rest. You did this years and years and years of hard work leading to this moment, and she finally got to have it. It wasn't gold, and some people think she was crying because of a silver medal, which who cares if she is? Whether it was sadness, happiness, relief that it is done, it doesn't matter, and we don't need to pry into it. But overall, I'm just so proud of the women and the people in our sport who supported her, who hugged her, who congratulated her. Amber Glenn, who tried to get the cameras out of her face. Like, let this girl feel what she needs to feel, reflect on what she needs to reflect on, because she has had such an incredible season, an incredible career, an incredible trajectory that has bloomed a legacy that will never ever be forgotten. Now, while this doesn't fill the void, but almost on a parallel to Kari Sakamoto, we have Ami Naki, who is the 17-year-old Japanese teammate in her debut season winning it all. Now, Ami just has that kind of mental strength and confidence that you wouldn't expect in someone so young. Likewise, her technical ability is just out of this world. She landed the most perfect triple axel in this routine, and all her other jumps, all her landings, her edges, her knee bends, just incredible, and exactly the kind of performance you would expect from such a champion. Now, I think my favorite part of Ami's skate was actually afterwards in the kiss and cry, and she didn't realize that she had gotten 3rd. So she skated so well, even though her tech didn't make it high enough to overtake the leader, but she still had an incredible routine. And the way she kind of looks at it is just like, okay, yeah, alright. And then she realizes, and just, oh my god, the way her eyes light up. She looks over to Alyssa and signals the 3, like, did I just do that? I can't. She is just so sweet, so cute, so precious, and I am just kind of like Monshiba. I'm so excited to follow her journey and see what she achieves over the next few years. Now, of course, I cannot finish this video without talking about the Olympic champion, the gold medalist, the queen of consistency herself, the alternative diva we all want and pray for in our lives, Miss Alyssa Liu. And I am just I can't. Where do I even start? She had a new costume, which I really, really liked this costume because it reminded me of the Gaga one. And I'm telling you guys, that silver costume lives in my head rent-free. And I am so sad that we didn't get to see that routine here because even though I originally did not like it, I have grown to love Gaga. It eats, it slaps, it cooks, and the costume was just so flattering on her. The silver, the fit, the way it matched her hair, everything was just so perfect. So the fact that they kind of integrated a little bit of Gaga into Donna Summers made my heart happy. We had Gaga vibes. We had the knee spin. Like, tell me if I'm wrong, but that was the knee slide from the Gaga routine, right? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe this is deja vu. But that was just such a great fun little girly pop addition. I was so happy to see that. And the rest of the routine was just so fun. And I think Alyssa is the most perfect skater for this because she is doing this for fun. She left, she retired at 16 and she came back on her own terms to do this sport because she loves it. And there's not a second on the ice where you could doubt that isn't true. She is just so calm, collected, and just she's so teenage girl. She is so teenage girl, unserious, unconventional, and I am here for it because as somebody said, or as Amber Glenn reposted, they hate to see two woke bitches winning, and I couldn't agree more because Alyssa and obviously Amber, and there's other skaters too that come under this umbrella, but to be different and to not be what is expected of your typical ice princess, your dainty, feminine little girl. These women are showing that that is not the only option, and I think that is so important. But going back to Alyssa, today she skated an incredible routine. It was clean. It was a gold medal routine. She looked like a winner skating that routine. And this is so important because this is the first American ladies gold medal since 2002 with Sarah Hughes. So that is a long time ago. And likewise, this is also the first time that we've ever had two Japanese women on the podium together. So we had America in first, Japan. So it is relieving to see some other countries having a moment. And of course, this has been made possible because Russia is banned and they can't dominate the field. But at the same time, the era of Russian dominance just doesn't feel as strong in the senior field. Like, there's still so many incredible juniors and younger girls who are doing unhuman kind of things, but at the senior level it's not as consistent is probably the right word. But either way, I'm excited to see how this next Olympic cycle goes, especially if the ban does become lifted or if more Russian athletes or neutral athletes are enabled the opportunity to compete. I'll be interested to see how that shakes things up. But for the sake of today, it was an incredible competition. There were so many highs, so many positive emotions, so much sportsmanship, and it is just so relieving to witness this. And if we look more specifically at this podium, we had first place, Miss Casual, showing it's okay to prioritize yourself and come back to do a sport for love and passion. You had second place, showing that you can be older, stronger, and powerful, and to not give up when things are challenging. And then third place, a fresh new talent, youthful but mature and paving the way for other young skaters to have a healthy relationship with the sport. I'm just so proud of these girls, and I could sit here and talk about this for so long, but I do need to end this video, so thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here with me during this, and hearing me out, because these are my opinions, and I kinda just like to yap, so thanks for being respectful in the comment section. I wish you all the very, very best, and until next time, bye!